It's looking pretty gloomy out there. Rain is on the forecast, so I don't think we're going to be riding today.
What is up, guys? Ginter here, back at you. And yeah, bad weather means work on one wheel day. And today we're going to give the old XR some love. So if you watched my previous video, I mentioned that I did have a bunch of upgrades for this board that I've been putting off. And the main reason for that is because this board has been rock solid. Now, I don't have nearly as many miles on it as I do my GT, but I haven't had to send it back to FM or had it worked on over and over. In fact, this was a used XR that I bought almost four years ago now. It's been good, it works. It's still great. It's got non-updated firmware, so it doesn't have haptic buzz on it. And yeah, the last time I worked on this board was when I plugged this tire. So I installed this Enduro. Sometime shortly thereafter, I got a puncture on it and it was still in good shape, good tread. Spoiler alert, it worked. It actually worked so well that it's right here. It's still holding air. Yeah, if you're interested in seeing how that went and the kit and everything that I did to plug this tire, go check out that video. Like I said, board has been good, so I've been reluctant to work on it. But again, I bought a bunch of stuff to give it some love, and so that's the plan today. So let me get this out of the way and show you what I have. So inside this box is a whole bunch of stuff that I bought in the last 6 months or so just for this board. It's just all brand new parts just sitting in this box. Some of it I got on sale, some of it I didn't. But the heart of it is gonna be what's inside here. This is the box for the XRV kit from Onewheel. So I've installed the GTV kit in my GT because my GT broke. And now I have one for the XR, even though it's not broke, just because I realized how much better the board was. Don't get me wrong, FM stuff is good. It's reliable for the most part and it works just fine. And if you just casually ride, stick to it. And if you're not having any issues with performance or whatever, those boards are fine. But I know that I can get more power out of this. So I bought this kit when it got announced. It's just been sitting in a box. And yeah, it is time to throw it in this board. So that's gonna be the main upgrade for the XR. Other things I got, new rails. I've got the WTF varials with standard WTF center steezes in forest green. And then for the quarter panels, I went with Fun Metal. That's what that looks like. Fun Metal. Actually, let's show you them next to each other. Forest green and Fun Metal. And to add to more of that color, I ended up going with these cold blocks. Cold blocks? Float blocks? It says cold block on the side, but then it says float blocks on the box. Blocks on the box. Whatever. They're the axle carriers. And I went with gold. Yeah. So I thought the gold sitting behind the forest green might look pretty. Not necessary, but we do live in the desert. It gets hot here, so perhaps they will be beneficial. If anything, they do look very pretty. And then to give the rails a little bit of protection, I bought the gripples for the XR. I don't put them on my foot pads. I find that I can tune that how I need, or if you remove the extra layer to make your foot pad more sensitive, that's what I typically do. But these are going to be for the rails, just like on the edges, to give it a little bit of protection from getting banged up. Speaking of foot pads, from ProRide, I bought their grip tape. This is actually more of a foam material. It's the same kind of stuff that you would put on a surfboard that you would stand on to give you grip. And they're not quite as grippy as your typical, sandpapery grip tape. But I don't always want the most grip. Like, I prefer street grip tape over trail grip tape because my feet tend to move out of position if I'm doing any bonks, nudges, hitting some chunky trail, and I like to be able to scooch my feet around on the top to get it back into the spot that I find comfortable. So I went with these ProRides, but also they're not my preference for trail riding. So I got these because my daughter, she might end up riding this board and she has those pro rides on the Pint right now, and she likes them. So I'm gonna put them on this board for now. But also, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be using this out on the trails just yet. My initial plan was to make it into a coffee runner or a street board. To prove that, I do have TFL's Street Pro 2 slick tire. So it's a nice soft rubber, super grippy. It should feel like you're just floating over the ground when it's running. But I don't know if I'm gonna install this right away. No, actually, no, I'm not gonna install this right away because this tire is still holding air and still good. So I gotta be careful and not just waste money, because I don't have a job except for making these videos. So I gotta be careful with my funds. I will throw this on eventually. And then also for this guy, I bought they got these glow in the dark rim savers, lifesavers. I checked it out with a nice bright flashlight, and it does glow. Let's see, you can kind of see it, but it fades fairly quickly. And granted, this isn't a UV light, but it is a very bright flashlight that I use for night riding. I'd say don't buy these if you're buying them for the glow part of it, because I don't think you're gonna notice it unless you're blasting it with UV light all the time. But having lifesavers on your rim is a good idea, unless you've got an MTE. If you got a 5-inch MTE, well, they don't make any for that setup anyways, but that has more rubber around the rim from the big fat sidewall of the tire that you don't need rim savers for the most part. But on the 6-inch, 6.5-inch, if you tend to roll your board a lot or try to do tricks and whatnot on curbs, get you some lifesavers. The last thing I got on here, not the last thing, oh, there's one more thing in here, is the drop top fender. So as you can see, I've got these kind of half fenders. I think these were called the Sidewinder fenders. They don't make them anymore. I use half fenders typically, just because I don't like my foot running into the tire if I scooch my feet around. I've also had instances where I went to go do a bonk or a nudge, and my back foot slid forward into the rotating tire, and it just shot my foot forward over the tire and kicked out my front leg. Basically just forcing myself into a trip and falling on my back onto the board. So I like having at least like a small ledge to protect my back foot from running into the tire itself. So I don't typically use a fender, but the drop top fender kit, if you don't know, is both the half fender pieces and the fender itself. So I just have it in black in here. Ooh, I guess it comes with a bag. I haven't even opened this box yet. Nothing too crazy, but where's the half pieces? Here we go. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. Just a small half fender, not even a half fender. It's much shorter than these ones, but that's really all I need. So that's, you know, personal preference for the way that I ride. I like the option to be able to put this on if I do, you know, if you're riding in water in the rain. But again, I live in the desert, so I typically don't run over water here. So this is likely not going to be used that much, but it was a sale deal, so I just bought the whole thing. Why not? And the last thing in the box is a box. And inside this box is another box. This is actually the torque box, and this is designed to replace your rear battery box in your XR to allow you to put a larger battery in your XR. So you can get more range, or you can put in a higher spec battery that gives you more voltage and more torque. I bought this guy for future proofing, and here's the lid. So nice metal lid. I bought it because it was on sale so that I had it should I get the money to put in a better battery pack. I have been shopping around. I've been talking to my buddy here who made me the battery for my GTV, and that one has been working great. So maybe I can get a deal with him to put an upgraded battery into the XR, or, you know, maybe some other battery company out there who makes batteries wants me to talk about how good their battery is on my videos. I would love to test it out and see how it performs with the XRV kit. I know Indie Speed Control just came out with one which looks really amazing. It actually already comes with this box, but also the battery and the BMS. And then I don't know if it comes with a charger too, but you will need a charger if you do upgrade your voltage. Been eyeballing that one, but at the price that they want, it's way out of my budget. So it's gonna have to wait. All right, so it's about that time to start working on the board, but don't worry, I'm not gonna talk this whole time and make you watch me put the whole board together, because that'll be a long video, but also because I haven't really worked on XRs that much, so it'll be a little bit of a learning experience for me. I'll be referencing Tony's video as well to get the XRV kit installed correctly. And yeah, because of that, I'll just start working on it, maybe film a few clips here and there as I do, and then also take it out for a ride and see how it feels. And then I'll come back, show it off, and tell you what I think. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. This turned out looking really good. Got the varials with the green and the silver. Got the Cush low in green. I've got black and green used, but still functioning bang bumpers on the bottom. The only thing missing is the gray Lifesavers and the Street Pro 2, but I'll get to those when I do replace this tire. And it's working. She purrs, baby, and it sounds good. So it does need one more touch though. Just give me a second. There we go. Gotta represent my chillest fam. You guys know what's up. It's all about enjoying life and keeping it chill, but I think she's ready for the beauty shots. Okay, so as you saw, I've taken this beautiful XRV out for more than a few rides now, and yeah, this thing is fun. That lightweight feeling of the XR platform and lower center of gravity that these WTF varials provide really give you that floaty, locked-in vibe. And while I haven't done it yet, these rails are gonna make future tire changes even easier too. Speaking of tires, if I ever decide to go big tire gang, all I'll have to do is change out this centerpiece for a longer one, which is a really sweet option to have. Now on to the VESC conversion part. The hardware build wasn't too bad, aside from getting the controller box open. Other than that, everything else went pretty smoothly. As for the software side of things, I unknowingly messed up some of that config and it felt weaker than I expected. But I quickly figured out the issue by referencing the new Float Hub app from Nico and TFL. Yeah, definitely check that app out if you are new to VESC. It simplifies so much of the setup process. Anyways, once I got it dialed in, there was much more low-end torque than it ever had while on the stock FM controller. It was even capable of slow crawling up the crazy steep incline I was testing with the GTV battery in my last vid. But as expected, it does still lack in overall power and top speed. I was constantly getting beeps around the 20 mph mark, and if I did any bonks or curb nudges, the duty cycle alarm was sure to let me know. Regardless, it's still an upgrade in both performance and ride feel, and has the potential to be my main board in the future if I can get this stock battery upgraded. That is, unless my daughter claims it first. Alrighty, that's Ginter for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something and or enjoyed the video, you know the deal. Bonk that like button and sub for the float love. And be sure to stick around to see what Mikey eats today at the end of the fresh build B-roll shots that I took before I got it all dirty. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Float on, my friends.
Mikey, stop getting in the shots. I told you I'm shooting right now.
That looks nice.
Also, that's not how you eat a banana. Jeez.